3 times now we've gone to the test track with one of Ford's newest Edge crossovers, each time with a different engine driving all 4 wheels. And each time, the sticker price was a little over $45,000. The $45,380 Edge Sport we tested put the money under the hood and the emphasis on performance with a 315 horsepower 2.7-litre EcoBoost V6. A second example with the naturally aspirated 280 horsepower 3.5-litre V6 tilted toward the luxury end of the scale in titanium trim and wore a price tag of $45,045. The subject of this third test is the model with a 2.0-litre 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine, which was revamped for 2015 and reassigned as the base engine. Dearborn asked a $995 premium for the earlier version of this engine in the first-generation Edge. That was back when gasoline was more costly, though, and automakers figured people would gladly pay more for every increment of EPA-rated fuel economy. Today, you can get the revised version quieter, even more efficient, and with 5 more horsepower for a total of 245 with all-wheel drive in an Edge say for less than $31,000. The example Ford provided for our test, however, showed up as a leather-trimmed titanium with an MSRP just $30 shy of the 3.5-litre Edge tested earlier. Dearborn's message seems to be that a well-equipped Edge is going to set you back $45,000. So where would you prefer the money be spent? The upcharge for the 3.5-litre is only $425. On this car, that was set aside in favor of the $395 bronze fire paint, which is one of the prettiest factory paint jobs we've seen on a non-luxury brand vehicle. Otherwise, it had the same equipment as the V6 titanium. The only other big distinction on the window label being that the EcoBoost gets better fuel economy ratings 2,028 miles per gallon, beating the V6 by 3 miles per gallon both in the city and on the highway. Less hustle, less noise. The 35 horsepower gap between the EcoBoost 4-cylinder and the 3.5-litre V6 doesn't loom a large considering that the smaller turbo engine has a 25 lb-ft torque advantage that also peaks 1,000 revolutions per minute lower on the track. At the track, the difference is that the 4 requires 0.6 seconds longer to reach 60 miles per hour, taking 8.3 seconds. For comparison, Kia's lighter, slightly less roomy Sorento with a turbo 2.0-litre managed 8.0 seconds flat. In the quarter mile, the difference between this EcoBoost and Ford's V6 shrinks to only 0.1 second and 3 miles per hour. The Ford delivers slightly better 50 to 70 mph passing acceleration 5.5 seconds versus 5.8 but takes a little longer than the V6 to get from 30 to 50 miles per hour. Both are mated to a 6-speed automatic but with different gearing, which can be sluggish on downshifts even if the driver commands them through the standard paddles. The transmission did seem to respond a little better to this car's beefier torque output than it did with the 6. Neither gets anywhere near the Sport's acceleration performance 5.6 seconds to 60 miles per hour. But this 2.0-litre example suggests that the mediocre performance of the 3.5-litre model and cornering and braking was an anomaly. With the same tires on the same size wheels 20 inches, a $995 option over the standard 19s, this one stopped from 70 miles per hour in 175 feet and cornered at 0.81 grams. Both numbers much closer to the Sport's 176 feet and 0.83 grams than the earlier titanium could manage 187 feet and 0.78 grams. In routine driving, it's comfortable and agile enough, without any real vices but no particular eagerness, either. given that Ford emphasizes refinement and quiet operation as engineering goals both for the new generation Edge in general and for the revisions to the 2.0-litre. We took a close look at the sound meter readings. The 4-cylinder model generates less noise at idle 40 decibels, where the V6 makes 44 and at widely open throttle 71 decibels rather than 73. The naturally aspirated 6, though, was quieter by 4 decibels at a 70 miles per hour highway cruise. All three tested Edges confirm the subjective impression that it's delivering a quiet chill-around driving experience than a Jeep Grand Cherokee with the Pentastar V6, although we should note that FCA has announced revisions to its engine for 2016 and claims improved NVH. The more directly comparable Sorento 2.0T was quieter at idle, louder at full throttle, and dead even at a steady 70 miles per hour. All the differences here are small. Gaining the half second to 60 miles per hour costs only a few $100, which you could save by settling for one of the more ordinary paint jobs, but it doesn't buy any around town quiet. The 6-cylinder Edge Titanium returned 18 miles per gallon with our drivers, while the Sport got 16 miles per gallon. This 4 got 21 miles per gallon, with some of us drivers using the auto stop-start feature and others turning it off. It was noticeable, of course, but not objectionable in operation. There's no telling where gasoline prices are going to be by the time buyers finish paying on a 60-month loan, so taking the standard engine rather than one of the first-year upgrades could be smarter later. Giving up nothing else, titanium trim brings a lot of luxuries, and it's available with the base engine, so there's no argument to upgrade there, either. Our test car had the pricey Equipment Group 302A package, $5,645 with navigation, blind spot monitoring, remote start, auto-dimming exterior mirrors, heat for the steering wheel and the front and rear seats, front seat coolers, Ford's enhanced park assist parallel and perpendicular, including departure from the space, a panoramic glass roof, a front camera, rain-sensing wipers, inflatable rear safety belts, etc. A buyer might save a chunk of change by selecting only a few of those options, but pay mind to the incentive programs. This car showed $945 worth $445 Equipment Group savings and a $500 all-wheel drive discount. The navigation and infotainment systems did not use the latest Sync 3 system that could arrive on 2016 models. Instead, this car had the last generation of my Ford Touch. We've not been fans, but our earlier complaints about that system have been addressed with redundant physical buttons to supplement the glitchy voice command and buried touchscreen menus, and we had no real issues with operating this car's systems. With the Class 2 trailer tow package $435 on this example, the EcoBoost 4 has the same £3,500 trailer tow rating as the V6 model. So there's nothing to choose there unless you're eyeing a sport. Ford doesn't offer the tow package with the 2.7-litre EcoBoost, so it maxes out at £2,000. Anyone looking for entertainment at the wheel of a $45,000 Edge should nevertheless opt for the Sport. The buyer who wants the luxury version may not be of a mindset to accept a base engine, especially one with only 4 cylinders, but it would be a respectable decision. At lower trim levels, though, the 2.0-litre is probably the best choice.